Oh, shit, man. Oh, hey, everybody. How you guys doing? I'm Michael J. Cat. Make no mistake, it is me. It is I who arrived today. Michael J. Cat, also known as Michael Stroop. Hang on, there we go, Michael Stroop. It's my real name, you know. So anyway, here's how I want to do this. Because I kind of said last week I didn't want to do any more lives concerning Delphi. I think everybody heard me that's here. All 6 of you, you know, oh, all 25, man, she is just shot up. So this is primarily going to be on Evansdale tonight because there are things about Evansdale that I am not clear on as I am in Delphi. And I wanted some people's help here because there is, and especially if you look online anywhere, a lot of confusion on times in Evansdale. So I kind of mainly wanted to cover that. However, I did say that I would do a live when I found something out concerning TJB and his rescheduled jury trial. Well, I heard about that this week. In fact, I was contacted before I even went and looked by 12 Cut Pizza. Yeah. By 12 Cut Pizza over in chat. And he told me that they had rescheduled it for August 2nd, 2021, which means summertime, which I call. You know, it'll be after COVID, man. It'll be after everybody's mushroomed from the vaccine. That's when they'll have it set for. So that's when they did it. August 2nd, 2021. So we got, let me see, 7, 8, we got 7.5 months, 8.5 months, probably 9.5 months before he legitimately becomes suspect by law enforcement after they speak with him. So if anybody wanted to know when that jury trial was set for, it was set for, and I'm posting it right down here in chat. Pay attention down in chat there. August 2nd, 2021. And that would be Thomas Bruce's jury trial date. Right there. So that's when that monster is going to go face his jury if COVID didn't kill everybody by then. And it's quite clear it likely will. You know, man, I wish that this was more like the Spanish plague. At least then I'd see people dying. You know, I'd go, oh, my God, he's got the plague. You know, stay away from him. But in this particular one, I just don't know anyone. I don't know a single person that has this plague, and I'm thankful for that. That way I ain't coming down with the plague, you know what I mean? I don't want that China plague. Just not in me to catch that. Yeah, I don't want to be catching no China virus. I don't want it. Keep it away from me. Now you watch what's going to happen, man. I can tell you right now, sometime through this week, somebody's going to come up to me and go, dude, I tested positive for COVID. I had it. Do it. Do it. Just do it, man. Watch till I get charges. Yeah, you do, Raj. Very true. Not down with the social distancing thing. I mean, when they got a plague that I don't know anybody dying from, I can't wait to get it. I go out of my way to try and get it. That's been me ever since I heard about it. Out trying to get it. Out trying to acquire that virus. Sometimes, though, I mean, to protect myself from a little nanovirus, I will walk into a store, you know, with a piece of fabric over my face, you know, to make sure I'm safe, because fabric will catch that. It will. Every single time. It's going to catch onto that fabric, and it's going to stop you from breathing it in. Yay, you won't get it. You see, you just put a piece of fabric over your face and then say, and quote, in this country, we will never accept Sharia law. Not ever. But we will wear a mandated mask. We're that silly. You know, we'll do it. Hey, it's the state mandates it. It's for everybody's own good. BS. Not me. So anyway, let me begin with Evansdale. And allow me to compare that back to Delphi. One moment, please. All right. Let me start up here at the beginning. For a crime to have 2 young girls abducted in the daylight is rare. But to have 2 cases that have the same 2 girls abducted in the daylight hours is extremely rare. 16 such cases have been reported since 1974. 16 cases since 1974 have been reported of 2 girls being abducted in the day, in daylight hours. Okay? And over half of those, so we'll say 8 of those, were done by family or friends of the family. That leaves 8 legitimate cases, and that is including Evansdale and Delphi. With those 2 gone, it would be 6 cases reported of 2 girls being abducted in the daytime since 1974. That is an FBI statistic. Thank you. Now, let's see. In Evansdale, Iowa, and the very same in Delphi, Indiana, law enforcement is telling us they believe that the person is a local person to that area. Okay. However, let's take a closer look at these 2 crimes and see what we can see in both and see how they connect as to what that is made of. Now, I will begin here as such. In both cases, Evansdale and Delphi, Indiana, 2 young girls were abducted in the daylight, in daytime, at small hiking trails. The trails set next to highways. The trails are set in small towns. The trails are hiked, but not heavily hiked, which makes them less secure and better for the suspect. In both cases, in both sets, the girls are found at a later date, murdered. The bodies of both are found by a creek in the woods, and the dates of the abduction are reversible. 7/13/12 Evansdale, 2/13/17 Delphi, with Evansdale being on Friday the 13th. Now, I find that to be more than odd or more than statistically rare. I think that it offers the identical method of operation in both cases by the same suspect in 2 differing cases. Neither do I believe at all in either case that the suspect is from that area. In fact, let me break that down like such. Let me kind of, I need to scroll down here, please. Okay, in Delphi, let's look at this. The FBI, the tip line, has probably because last I knew it was mid-60s, and that was months ago. So it's probably upwards in an area of 70,000 phoned-in tips by now. 70,000. Okay? Now, the population of Delphi, and this is what they said, we now feel firm that this suspect is from Delphi or the Delphi area. Okay? Population of Delphi is 3,500 people. You divide that in half to get men, you would have 1,750 men. Now, set aside all males who are between the ages of 18 and 40, which is 36% of the male population, and that gives you 1,050 men. Now, set aside males with blue eyes, which is 10%. Now you have 950 men. Now set aside the fraction that has committed a crime in their past. I speculate in the city of Delphi that this percentage would be approximately 30% of all men ages 18 to 40, and it could be higher than that, honestly, leaving us with approximately 600 men to be looked into. Now, we could go further and remove the set that has reddish brown hair or had reddish brown hair and are somewhat heavy set. That would be less than 600 people to look over. Less than 600 people to look into. You got the FBI, the state of Indiana, local law enforcement. You got 600 men. Go question these guys. You know, and if you did break that down by men with reddish brown hair and that were heavy set, you would have way less than 600 men to look through. Break it down. That a few hundred people, few hundred men to look through, or 70,000 phone-in tips that you need to investigate. Now, I know that law enforcement knows this. And I know that they're handing people a narrative that they want them to believe so that they don't start connecting dots back to the real suspect. I get that. What I'm doing is letting you know that that's what they're doing. That way I'm not alone in this. This way I'm not sitting here going, gee, I hope somebody believes me. It's easy. It is. It's common sense. It is all common sense. Now, let me get back to the statistics there, okay? If you look at the similarities between Evansdale and Delphi, it is staggering. It defeats what is statistics. I mean, there is no way for me to look at that and say, oh, wow, that's a major coincidence. Because when you look at the statistics, you go, no, that is the same. That is the very same man with the same method of operation doing both, committing both crimes in an identical type manner. Totally. Now, when you throw in a reversible date, and a date will reverse once in every 100,000 days, a date can reverse. When you throw that in on top of this, you're looking at the identical same guy. And for me to say that he'd be local to either, no, he traveled to both. Traveled to both areas to commit those crimes. Now, what I want to know is what occurred in Evansdale. Now, I know what happened. I'm not playing dumb, but what I mean is by time, what occurred. I mean, when they left, where they were seen by the camera, when the guy saw their bikes, when they were noted as missing, when they were reported as missing, when the bikes were found. You know, these are very odd. You know, these are the things that you would need to know, because I can't suspect that the person that committed Evansdale would abduct two girls right there at a trail, take them elsewhere, commit the crime, and then bring their bicycle and telephone and purse back to that area without thinking about, oh, I'll be seen doing that. So I got to suspect that they were abducted at the trail, like maybe at an entrance, you know, maybe, but right there at that trail area. I don't think that he brought their bikes back and then parked them there in that area, because he had two abducted girls with him. He didn't have that kind of time. Where would he have kept them at? In his vehicle? I mean, they surely would have like got out, went and got help, something, while he did that. So I do want to know about any times that people know. You see, if anybody out there knows, and I know the last time I think it was the last time, but I believe it was the last time I was talking solely on Evansdale by itself. Somebody got a hold of me and said that they lived in Waterloo or in Evansdale, very close to Waterloo. Somebody in chat. And I don't know if that person watches my channel, and I'm trying to remember as to what the name was, but really, when you just look at a name and it has no face or voice, names can get very confusing. If you're looking back any length of time, I can't honestly say. No. No, in fact, I never said that. I never said reversible date. So a killer waits all those years for the dates? Not really. No, but I think that when that date was coming up and that it was noted as, oh, the reverse of that date is going to happen. Yeah, I do. Yes, I'm going to say at a statistic of 1 in every 100,000 days, you bet your... Absolutely. Yeah, I look at that as very over the top. In fact, it is so over the top that that's what I believe that the FBI was looking at, the identical. That's why they had an agent there on the 14th, because when it caught the eyesight of the FBI, that's what popped up. right there. The reversible dates, identical crimes done in the same manner, 2 girls missing, and they said, hey, this may not be anything, but if it is not anything, it's really up there statistically that this would happen on this specific day. Let's make sure that we have an FBI agent there, on hand in case those girls are found by that creek, so that we can get available evidence, that can point us in the right direction of who may have did this, if it's the same as Evansdale. And it is. It absolutely is. You have my 100% guarantee. 100% guarantee. Now, we ain't going to know about it till September or October of 2021. And honestly, I hope that not many of the people that view my channel are a mushroom or something related to a fungus by that time. But you never know. I did want to point to something, and I know that a lot of people that view my channel have looked into Evansdale. But I heard a piece of information that I thought, well, that cannot be true. That can't be. Or, it would kind of, it leaned against what it was that I assumed to be real there. But there's a guy, and I believe his last name is Gammerdinger. Now, he's seen the girls' bikes when they were parked where they were left at. And he was going around there because I believe that he was riding a bike, and he said he had to swerve to go around the bikes, but he didn't see the 2 girls that owned the bikes. Now, I heard that the 2 men that found the girls' bodies, and that was like 6 months later, were employed by Gammerdinger, and that Gammerdinger was the best man at the chief of police wedding. That is a lie. That is straight tabloid journalism. Somebody made stuff up online to sound good and threw it out, and everybody's like, oh, really? I bet Gammerdinger, that's how people play it, man. And that is foremost what I'm against right there. I do not hand out tabloid. I do not give a flying crap about what other people think. I don't. I don't watch other people's channels. If they are discussing Delphi, no. If I ain't on it, no. Probably no, because I don't want to hear what them or the other person is saying concerning. I don't want it clouding my mind with the useless. I say useless. It don't matter what they say or the facts that it's in. I don't want what they say in my mind playing into what I know. You see where I'm at? It's not being closed-minded. What I mean is, if I can't go find it my own self, and believe me, I have covered Delphi from first base to the home run. There is nothing in there that I am not knowledgeable on that could be known publicly. In fact, I will take that further and say I know more than what is publicly known than what other public people know of Delphi, because I went and did the interviews. I went and asked the questions. I've walked that trail. I've walked that trail since it happened. For 4 years, I walked that trail. I know the distance. I know the size. I understand that case. But the same is not exactly true for Evansdale. I mean, I know what happened. I mean, I can read the news and see what happened, and I can be given somewhat of an outline. But I don't know the specifics exactly in the same manner that I know Delphi. Hold on a second. I don't know BW. I have no idea who that is. So let me see. It's being mentioned. Okay, well, it being mentioned pretty much throws a bad thing on it right there. That's just like saying, oh, I heard that. Stop. I don't care what you heard. I'll stop you right there. I don't care. I'll stop you right at, I heard that. No, unless it was from law enforcement or something along that line. The survey says it's going to be somebody just throwing crap out there for people to go, think that they know something when in fact they really don't. In fact, I'm going to say out of most people, not all, but most of the people that are watching this are probably from outside of Indiana. Some may be outside the country, Scotland, England, UK, Australia. There's a lot of places that heard about this crime that tune into places that, discuss it. But most people are not from around Delphi. And even people that are within the state have never went there and actually walked that trail. They've never went out there. They have no distance about, what it looks like at the trail, how it's walked. Oh, hey, there's Matt Black. Hey, man, Matt. Yeah, I seen you the other day on Incognito's channel, man. Glad you made it. Yeah, I'm a half hour away. I'm probably right at about a half hour away. Whoa, man, you taking off, TNJ? Okay, man. Peace. How you doing, Matt? Oh, geez, man, I would hope not. If there is anybody on here that thinks the flannel shirt guy did anything, please leave and do not mention it. I will apply a boot real fast, real quick for that. That is showing no common sense, and I do not allow no common sense at my channel. Believe me, you got to have some common sense. You got to know how to put shit together. Yeah, and I agree. Me and him were out there, and you know what? He may know. He may have the answer. What day did we go out there when we went out there with? And for the sake of this video, I'll call her RN. Do you know the specific date? Because I know that Indiana State Police were out there, kind of trolling the area. Flannel shirt guy was there when we arrived. He was right behind us. And I know it was right afterwards, but I don't know what date. I think we needed a ride and RN gave it. But if you know, throw it up there. Let me know. How do the families feel about people going to the bridge to check it out or pay respects? I would have no idea. It's a public trail. I don't think that they would care one way to another. I mean, it's a public trail. Like anybody that hikes there has ever hiked at that trail would go there. And as far as people going there because something happened, well, I mean, what can you say? It isn't going on now. I mean, I wouldn't suspect March 3rd? No. Oh, no. I'm thinking it was way before that. I mean, way before. Like, crap. It was like right after the photos were given. Because think about that, man. From the 13th. See, 18, man. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Really don't. Nah. You know what? Hang on a second, man. Let me go check some. I mean, I've taken them and put them elsewhere. But let me see if I can find the dates on that. Huh. Yeah, man. See, that's got the same day I moved it onto. Yeah, ain't no way I'm gonna find out. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll give it that because man, they with the fence and all, but Knight Rider, I don't know what in the hell you said, but yeah, yeah. Well, you're right, but that was well after when me, you, and RN went out there when we talked to Flannel Shirt guy. Remember, because when we was walking in, man, I'm all like, "Hey, don't look now," but there's a guy behind us walking, up behind us, and then he stopped and he was all like, "So, what's your names?" And that was like right after, because believe me, at that late, on the 3rd of March, man, they weren't out there. They had everything tied off. Law enforcement was still there. I mean, I was thinking, like, I didn't even think it was the 20th when we got out there. I doubt that it was really a week gone by. That's kind of how I phrased that, because I mean, everybody was right there. And 18 days later, that's far after the beginning. Remember, because man, you had that badge and they're asking you about, you remember? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I'm getting at. And see, that was not the 3rd of March, man, because dude, that's a long time later. That's like 3 weeks after. Now I got some of that on here, but I moved it from my old computer to this one, and that's going to be the date that it goes on it. It wouldn't be the exact date. I don't check out other channels, please. Don't ask me that. I do not go do that. Yeah, Roy, if you had a question, throw it up. If anybody sees a question that I didn't get to, if you could copy and paste it, if let me go up and try to find it, Roy. Well, it's old all the way around there, man. All right. You know what? Maybe, maybe. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they do, and I see that for this reason. If you go to what's the name of that, Colburn, something very close to that. It's right there on 25 north of Delphi. Um, they have like a double track right there. And that's so that a train can pull off as another train's coming going around, or it can pull over as another one goes by. And I have seen like Union Pacific, Norfolk, a lot of different trains parked there over many years. Now I know CSX owned the bridge, and I don't think that they do any longer. I think that that's owned by, and somebody could help me out. It could be owned by the county, the trail, whoever bought the bridge. But I know at the very beginning when me and Greeno were out there, that Flannel Shirt guy said that CSX owned the bridge and the trail stopped right before that, right at the bridge. I'm not sure what that means, man. Knight Rider, dude. I do not even know. Ah, okay. Well, there we go. Landmark owns it. Hey, man, I was talking about you earlier there, 12 cut. Sent regards, for the because you reached me before I even looked into it, concerning his new jury trial date. Was that me, him, and Tony? Because that really did, man. That covered a lot of ground. We went to a south side under the bridge. We walked all the way around the north side back to the crime scene itself. And then Greeno was walking back, and his battery went out on his phone, man. I mean, no, actually, that may have been the camcorder. Yeah, yeah. Who is blocked? And I have seen no arguing. Let me know. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know what? That was that at the same time? Was that me and Tony there and you went back? I was thinking that was at a differing time. Yeah, because you're like running back through there right behind you. You know what? God, man. Somewhere, someplace, man. I don't know what HTB is. I doubt that Angie is upset. I doubt that. Yeah, oh, I see. Thank you, TNJ. Oh, no problem at all. Still kind of looking into that, and I see where you're going. I'm going to mess the name up. I think it's like Amy Mihaljevic. Mihaljevic. That is that's an odd case, and it happened like right there on the outskirts of Cleveland. But what's odd about that case? I think she was 10 years old. She got a telephone call, okay, and this person said that her mom, that this guy said, "I'm a friend of your mom, Margaret." And she got a promotion. Well, I wanted to go buy a gift for her, and I thought you would like to go along because you could help me pick something out for her. So she meets up with this guy at a shopping center right after school, and people seen the guy walk up to her. They did, assumed it was somebody that she knew, and they left together. And God, man, I think it was about 100 days later, her body was found in a field. Dead, and this was over the winter time. So, I mean, it wasn't completely deteriorated, but it's just who would call, know your mom's name. Now, her mom didn't get a promotion at work. It was all a lie, but he knew their number, her mom's name, and I thought that's really weird that they would not be able to tie that back to somebody, because there was a couple of people that saw this dude. They even got a sketch of the guy. Very, very odd. But as far as tying that to TJB, I mean, I would have to know. I realize that there's Army places where Navy could be stationed there, but I would have to know, and it's right close to Flint by I think it's like 120 some miles away. Wasn't very far, but it would make me wonder why he drove her south and not up to the north. But if I find anything that does relate, I would throw it out there, but I don't want to speculate on it being him. But it is a case that I continuing to look into, because those are some cases that I like, right there where there's like plenty of evidence given, but you don't know, that can really help narrow shit down a little bit. But unless I was really certain, I wouldn't really be given a name, because you can hurt people like that, man. Different times back then. Yeah. Yeah. There was freedom around then. I remember it. I tell people about it, man. Apparently people think I'm lying because they're like, what? You could do that? Everybody wasn't crazy? Everybody wasn't a killer, man? Are you really? Wow. How'd you guys make it? How'd you make it day to day without something to worry about? You know? It's people today, it's a different world now. You got to feel happy to be a part of it. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, like many of those were found in the river there. And I remember they got, God, what was his name? Williams. God, help me out, somebody. I don't know why it is, man. Ever since the day when that crime happened, and I remember when it was news before they found that guy, and I remember, I mean, it was the Atlanta children that was being killed. And I mean, ever since that time, I can never remember his name. It's something Williams or William something. Yeah. You see, if Sketch came before Bridge Walk Snap video, have the witnesses confirmed if who they helped sketch is the guy in the video? Well, the answer to that question, yes. Yes, they have. That was the whole of it. Yes, I saw that guy. I saw that guy. Just that dude right there. Saw him. Spoke to him for a couple of minutes. And that's really where they got the biggest part of the details for the sketch. Yeah, Wayne Williams. Thank you very much, Raj. Wayne Williams. Double W, Should be able to remember that. But if you walk by somebody, say you're walking out or you're walking into the trail and somebody's walking by you, you look up, you see them, you just keep walking, not staring them down because they're just a fellow hiker, and they walk by you, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. Bye, and keep going. You know what? A couple days later, you'll remember, yeah, there was a guy there and he was walking out. Did he have a blue jacket on? Yeah, I think so. What color eyes? Yeah, he's a little heavy set. But if you speak to the guy for a couple minutes, you're going to remember their face because that's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at when you talk to him. Hey, well, pretty good. You, blah, blah, blah. You're looking at them. You're not walking by each other. Yeah, they are 12 cut. Overlook anything that they say, and that's why I don't go there, because people just flat out make shit up. They just make shit up. They're tabloid. That's what they do. And if you go there looking for details on this case, you're going to be left short because you will not find them at Facebook. And unless they're repeating me, you ain't going to find it. You know what? Unsure. Totally unsure. Oh, no, I ain't, dude. I ain't. I ain't changing anything about me, man. In fact, I tell people, I mean, like, who I am is who I am. I mean, if you meet me out, man, if you seen me and said, hey, man, Michael, how you doing? I watch your channel. I'm going to be there. That's me. I'm not. I had somebody say like, well, you're a YouTube personality. No, I'm not. I'm me. And I just got a YouTube channel, because I want people to know what I know or what I believe to know. Totally. Oh, man, missed what 12 Cut said. Sorry, 12 Cut. Yeah, right. Well, no. She did move. She moved. And I mean, I understand why she had moved, but as far as her dying, I mean, I didn't hear about that, but there ain't no way that I would. I'm not around anybody that would know that. Well, you know what? Thank you very kindly. I mean, thank you very much. But you know what? Let me think of what date that was. I think it was. Hold on, quick second, real quick. The third, right? The third. Okay, 5. Okay, last Thursday. Last Thursday, I went out to the trails. Me and Donnie went out there. And when we was returning, we stopped at Dollar General there in Flora. Well, we're checking out, and the guy behind me, and he had a Trump mask on. I think it said Trump 2020. He's like, "Hey, are you Michael Catt?" I'm like, "Well, I know of him." I said, "Michael Stroop." I said, "But I own the Michael Catt channel." And, he's like, "Hey, man, wow, man, I thank you for what you're doing," and it's kind of cool to be recognized, but I never expect that. People talk about Michael Catt. I'm like, "Hey, man, I need a ride." I'm like, "Oh, Michael Catt. That's right." They know me from my channel. They probably didn't think I needed a ride. I always need a ride. I'm like that alcoholic about rides. Yeah, if you're only going there for a minute, I need a lift. Yeah. I only want famous for what's good. Only for what's good. The rest of my life, I ain't talking about that. But I mean, as far as this case goes, in hand. And I wanted to drop something, not trying to be secretive, but in probably next week, I will have what I would like to call a very, very special guest on my show. One that you will not want to miss. The last thing that you are going to want to do is miss this. This is a very special guest, but me and this person have to kind of get together and go over what it is that we know and can compare. And I think that this is going to bring a broader base to what it is that we know concerning these crimes. Stay tuned, and I'll put a trailer out before that goes live. Who, me? You trusted me, but oh, whoa, yeah. Well, all right, I'll give you that, man. Hey, you go to sleep on the couch, and I got a K-bar, man. Yeah. Damn, man, I should have had that with me. Where in the hell? Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Holy shit. Oh, there, okay. Yeah, you go walking around and stuff. Yeah, the K-bar. There you go. Man, when you speak of K-bar, man, you gotta be holding it, man. It makes you look like military and shit. I said, look, man, he's holding the K-bar. He might hurt somebody. But I wouldn't go around trusting me with your life all the time. I wouldn't do that. I'd be a person that'd let you down one day. And I'd go like, well, in the deepest matter of the facts, I always preferred puppy over you. Yeah. That'd be something I would do just to get a laugh on the way out. Not really, though. No. I would save you and puppy alike. You have my word. I would not lie, man. I wouldn't lie to you. I barely know you guys. Yeah, the likes. But there are no likes. There are no likes. Look, man, there's 73 people watching, and I have, hang on here. I have an invisible watch. It takes 1 second to go down there and click that thumbs up. Do that. Thank you. Man, you know what? You guys rock. You rock the most, man. Hey, Incog, man, how you doing? Oh, you know why they call it a K-bar? Oh, hold on. They call it a K-bar for this reason. It's no lie. You can go to their website and look this up. There was a trapper, and this goes back a long time ago, and he had wrote him concerning the design of the knife that they had made, like such. See how it's got the little groove there, and that's when you take it, man, the blood spills out nicely. You know. So this one day, he had trapped a bear. Well, he needed to kill this bear, and all he had was his knife that he had purchased. Now, it was named something else at that time, or they called it something else within the corporation that, made it. And he went out there with the knife and killed this bear. Now, the guy could barely write, so he sent them a letter telling about, how well their knife did against this bear. And at the bottom, and they speculate, but they still got the letter. They speculate he meant what it would kill a bear, but he wrote K-bar. You see, so they said, well, that's what we'll do, and we'll name this design of knife the K-bar. So that's how it became the K-bar. But that is U.S. Army, and normally speaking, the K-bar is issued by the Marine Corps. But I wanted my Army knife because I am prior Army, and I love the Army. I guess there's always going to be a piece of the Army in me. Oh, now. Oh, yeah. You know what? Whenever somebody dies in a movie, always look for that. Always look for this knife, just like that. Look at the handle. Now, I added the O-rings in there because it gives better grip. You can see where I placed them. It did have like a little hollowed out area. But this is the K-bar knife. And normally if somebody dies in a movie by being stabbed in the back of the head or whatever, you're going to notice the handle's a K-bar. It is the knife. It is probably the knife that has killed more people than any other knife in the entire world. That I cannot tell you. They would not release that publicly. I mean, it would never come out that, oh, we did that, because that would be the same thing as saying, like, we did that and we found nothing of use, because the suspect would know. I mean, not that, I mean, his stuff was left, but if they came out and said that we've checked over that, he would know being this far later that they didn't find anything conclusive to point back to a person. And I am positive as I can be between Monon Trail, Monon High Bridge Trail, and where he was going to. There is plenty of video that was taken of his car, if not him, inside of a convenience gas station. You know what? I am too, but I can tell you this on that, because that was Anderson's. And right there at 54 likes with 76 people. Man, what kind of people are you? Well, I got an invisible watch. Hit the like button, man. 1 second. Good. Okay, thank you. Now we should have 76. Okay. So it being like right there, when you park in there at the CPS building, it would, if you was facing directly east in the direction of like where it goes into your right, if you back in where you'd be facing east, it would set just off to your northeast from you. Now, in driving in and exiting, it would catch your vehicle, but not your license plate. It would catch the side, the left side and the right side, if it was on. But I'm sure it being 2017 that, yeah, it was in all likelihood on. That's why I'm asking. Kat said he knows all of it. So if they have talked about the trains, he should know, right? And no, I'm not being an ass. The trains? You know, I'm not sure what trains. If it was there at Anderson's, there's that one track that goes up to there. And then they have the track that goes in and back out of Delphi that sits right on the western side of 25. You know, once you go past the trail area and it goes into the woods right there and you keep going, you're going to see where the track comes. And that was a thought that I had going back over a couple of years ago, is that he had likely walked those tracks down, cross through the woods back over to the trail area, and then walk back in the exact same way without being seen by anybody after the crime had transpired. But in finding this guy, knowing that he drove, finding the route, and, you know, then I could place him back through time and follow his steps and show the crimes that I feel at 100% that he has committed and the 6 people that were victimized in those actions. Well, they actually did that, and I believe it was 1987, and I know it was after my dad had moved out there, because I would drive from where my dad lives into Delphi, and had many a times, even when we was hunting raccoons. You know, we would always drive that way, and we were often stopped because there was a train going, you know, north or south across County Road 200, and that was like the first year or so that he had lived there. But that's when they stopped. I'm unsure when they took the tracks out. I'm unsure when they made that Monon High Bridge trail. But I wish I knew that that trail was there. You know, I wish that I had known that that bridge was there, because even if there wasn't a trail there, Smart Money says they would have found me back at that bridge quite often. It is very beautiful, very, very historic and beautiful. It is a big monument of history. And I would hate to see a day that they would ever take that bridge down, because it goes back, man. That bridge was built the same year as my dad's barn, 1895. 1895. Sounds like an old barn, doesn't it? It is, you know, but it was made by like Amish style, man, where they would, like, you know, square out the trees, man, to make the rafters. And it is a big, huge barn. It is big. My dad uses it as a horse barn. It's fantastic. In 1990, thank you very much, Randy. They took the tracks out in 1990, and I would think probably at sometime shortly after that's when they made the trail. I never checked on that. It seems a little unlikely as to, you know, but since that trail's been there. Yeah, me too. And if you ever do get this way, give me a ring. Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think you went to the first, did you not? Didn't you and Tony go down there? Maybe I'm mistaken on that, but I thought that you went down to the big one down south. Yeah, that's where I would have been. I mean, I would have been down there at the bridge quite often. Yeah, well, you know what? That's only because they came across our radar, because they made the news, because they did something that was bad. You know, no one's really, well, I have. I mean, you know, but not really, because by the time that his name crossed, my scope, he had already committed the Catholic supply store. But I seen the link to Carroll County and began investigating into him. Because when I seen the mugshot, I was like, yeah, I better look at this guy a little deeper. Because that mugshot of him and the sketch, that was made off of his face. The only difference is he didn't have a black eye on 2017. Had he have, we would have known where it came from. We would have known that one of those girls let him have it. Yeah, well, you know, again, let me run this by everybody. Scientific Americans point to the fact that in this country, we have 25 to 50. active serial killers. That's Scientific American. Okay. They're not sitting there not jotting down all these down. They're using FBI statistics in what they do. I mean, you know, they're narrowing this down. They're saying we feel that there's 25 to 50. Now, if I'm looking at California, because if I took the highest number and said 50 active serial killers in this country, well, I'm going to say smart money says that California, Texas, Chicago, New York, you know, are going to have more than one. Okay. And it really leaves a little less than one per state. Right? Now, with that in mind, how many look like our sketch? How many dress like Bridge Guy? How many have never committed a crime before and been caught and had fingerprints, DNA in the legal system? You know, how many? I'm going to say almost none. I'm going to say there is only one of those 50 people that look exactly like this guy. That's it. And again, he was 52 when he was caught for Catholic Supply Store. And let me see if we took that back 1 year. He was about 51 during the commission of the Delphi murders. And at 51, oh, even if we use Catholic Supply Store as our example, at 52, who starts doing a crime like that when they're 52? Nobody. You know, at that time, man, if you're going to go commit a crime like that, you've done worse. You've done that before. You know, and this is my point. This is not that guy's only rodeo, is the Catholic Supply Store. You're looking at Mary Pryor, Ann Pates in Genesee County, Michigan, Evansdale, Delphi. I could throw in Susan Collins into that but I cannot conclusively determine, as I cannot get his military records to show that he was there. But in the words of Barry Scheck, if he was at that base at that time, then I can tell you right now, when they executed Smedley Alley, they killed the wrong guy. That's why nothing that he was saying and, you know, admitting and confessing to matched the facts of the case, because he didn't do it. You know, that's why this guy did. Only one man is that brutal. Only one person that I've ever looked into. And that man is TJB. He's that dude. He's that guy. Now, I can't give that to him, but I can say that if he was at that base, I would be looking into him more than anybody. Also, you have the, let me see, what is that? The East St. Louis serial killer. Now, I can't hand that to TJB. Why? Because there was not the cause of death, you know, wasn't given in any of those cases. But they began in 2003 when he moved from Flint, Michigan to St. Louis. Okay. Now, he lived in Jackson County. And that's where he firstly moved, and that's where the church was. But I'm going to ask, if you're looking for opportunity and you're around a big city, where do you go? You go pick up a hooker. You can take her elsewhere, do whatever you want, kill her, leave the body where it may be. You know, that's how many serial killers do that. Gary Ridgway, prime example. Many of them go out and kill prostitutes. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Also California. And I'm not saying that Mary Pryor and Ann Pates are the solo in Michigan. I mean, that could go back a long time before that, and that's in 2 years. But you look at 99 to 2003, that's 4 years. I'm going to say, unless he went out of state from Michigan where he lived at and did it, there's probably more there in Michigan that just unaccounted for, because we don't, or I don't. I've never seen the cause of death listed. Now, I got lucky with Ann Pates because a man's house was searched because of that crime. People pointed to him as being the guy. So they showed up with a search warrant. And this is what led to this being released, so to speak. It wasn't released, but it was something found elsewhere. They went into this guy's house and they were searching for a knife that was involved with Ann Pates' killing. Okay. Now, what they found in his house was a gun. But he said, wait a minute, you can't hit me for having that gun because you was looking for a knife that you did not find. Now, in looking into that, Her neck was slit completely open, and she was left in the ditch of a county road next to a little run where a jogger seen her body the next morning, 12 miles away from Montrose. She was abducted at approximately 2 a.m. when her car broke down, closing time of the Solo Bar in Montrose, his hometown, and it was happened right there on Highway 58, same one that he was going to take back to Flint, 2 o'clock in the morning. Again, I called the tip line, let him know what I had found. Somebody else had already turned his name in. Someone else had already turned that man's name in for that crime. Think about that. Yay, Sir Mitch. Sir Mitch is here. How you doing? Glad you made it. Like 75 people and 59. Okay, you know what? All right. You want to be like that? I'll leave, man. I was trying to make this show about something. I guess it's the lack of thumbs up that hurts so bad. I can feel that. It hurts. But I'll be better. I'll be okay. Don't worry for me. Please. Oh, 62. All right. Thank you guys, man. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, I knew you guys rocked, man. I knew it. So now on Evansdale, let's kind of stick to this. Does anybody know much of anything on Evansdale concerning any times? If so, please throw something up there so that we can kind of discuss into that in a brief. Well, I'll tell you, this is my thoughts on that. From where, hold on. There you go. Yeah. See, people see my shirt and stuff. Okay. Let me see. Right. I doubt that it went down like that. And I do for these reasons. In November of 2016, that's when he started running out of money. Now, I don't know for what reason that this guy ran out of money. I have no idea, but I do know that there came a time when money ran out. Now, in checking his Twitter account, he was posting probably about every day to every other day until about November 16th of 2016. His Twitter went out. Okay. And I think that that's when he ran out of money for the phone right there. Is November of 2016. Now, in January 11th, he filed bankruptcy of 2017. 30 days, well, just over 30 days before the Delphi murders. So I don't think that he had an active phone at that time because he picked back up the Twitter account and posting in April of 2017. So from November of 2016 till April of 2017, he was without a server on his phone. I'll put it to you like that. He couldn't post off of his phone. So I think that what happened was, given the route between St. Louis and his family's house and Fort Wayne, Indiana, which also has family, I think that he would drive to Fort Wayne and then just take the highway north out of Fort Wayne to get to Montrose up by Flint. So I think that in doing that, because again, if you go look at, see, that was Lacklink Road, St. Louis, and you put in Fort Wayne, that's going to give you two directions. One is I-70, taking that down and then up on the east side of Indiana to Fort Wayne. And the other one is the Hoosier Heartland. Now, the Hoosier Heartland takes 19 minutes longer to get there, but what we are talking about here is an active serial killer, a guy who is on the prowl, on the troll for areas of opportunity, because this guy wanted to go do that, okay? He wanted to go commit these crimes, but he wanted an area where he felt comfortable in going, in a place that wasn't around where he lived, in a place where nobody knew him by face or name. So these little trails that are traveled, that people hike on, but not heavily. Well, if you're at one of these trails and somebody walks by that you want to victimize, you can just kind of keep an eye behind them. Ain't nobody here. You can run up, catch them, take them elsewhere and abduct them, commit the crime, and then leave without really being seen in the commission of the act. So I think that he had stopped at the trails. Now, if you're taking the Hoosier Heartland and you're heading there before the overpass before and after says, on each side of the highway, Monon High Bridge Trail. Okay, so that it's right there. Now, he could have used this because it's approximately a midway spot between St. Louis and Fort Wayne and where his family lives. He could have got out, used it as a rest stop, place to get out, hike, stretch his legs. He had been to the trail. In fact, I would use this the same exact way in Evansdale. He could have been there for differing reasons, and I cannot discount any of them. He could have been traveling north up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. He could have been, and he could have pulled off there by himself, and there was opportunity, and he took it. Or because he had lost a job 30 days prior to, same as Delphi, same as the profile by the FBI dictates, that this guy may have been experiencing financial problems through that time. He may have recently lost a job. He may have been having mental problems, through that time. Well, anybody that would abduct 2 young girls and murder them already has mental problems. There's no denying that. Okay, financial problems, job loss in hand happened to him. He was unemployed at this time. Now, it being Friday the 13th, did he set off and travel there in the same way that he did to Delphi to go commit them because he had already traveled past and knew of that place? Or was he traveling through, stopped at that place, and then it happened, and then the next time he went to another place that was similar to that, a Monon High Bridge Trail? Because once he gets to his car, he's down the highway. He ain't got to zigzag through town or anything like that. When he gets back to his car, bam, he hits the highway and he's gone. So I think that that's how I knew from stopping there, over many years. In fact, I'm going to say February 13th wasn't the first time that he had stopped at that trail seeking an opportunity. I just don't think it ever handed itself to him like it did on the 13th. Incognito, are you being funny? Are you trying to be funny? So you got people laughing for some reason. Right. And I have reason for that. Absolutely. I do. Right now, the youngest that I know is 9. The oldest that I know was 83. There's a 77-year-old. But then we could go 9, 11, 13, 14, 77, 52, 83, and 24. Now, that tells me that this man does not give a crap about age. What he wants is a female in front of him, helpless, and going to do whatever he says to do. However he wishes to humiliate, degrade them, there they are. Now, I know because people think, well, he's going to want one or the other. No, he wants one thing, somebody helpless in front of him. Somebody that makes him feel powerful. That's what he wants. And if they are helpless and they are young or old, that's what he wants. And I never really seen Oh, fair enough. Well, trolls, they are what they are, and they know green nose out. So, let him thumbs it down. You know what? The record I got one time was 26 thumbs down. 26 thumbs down. Man, 26. Can you guys beat that? Huh? I mean, could I get like 50 thumbs down? They're all of you. They're all of you. So, if you're going to let me have it, man, bring some juice. I don't cotton anything less. Yeah, exactly. And and that is the way I look at it, because in 3 of these cases that I made mention of, Mary Pryor, Ann Pates, and Delphi, In all three of those cases, they have DNA in all three and fingerprints in all three, and nobody that they can point to. This person had never committed a crime and had no match. No match. None. Just like a person I'm pointing to, TJB. Exactly like him. In places where he lived or traveled through. And again, I'm telling you, buggers, man. He's TJB. Maybe. I mean, I'm definitely going to the side that he had crossed the bridge before. He had been there, and I think that his mind was kind of drew back to that. Because when you cross that bridge and you go to the south side, it's a wood line. There's brush right there on the south side. You can walk back into that brush and maintain right there at that spot. Well, people in the north looking across would never see you through that brush, but you could be like right there, field glasses, and you can see who's coming toward you. He stood his ground on the south side, and I believe that when the girl started to walk on across from where that Snapchat picture was taken, he walked out, corralled him back, said, get over to the side, displayed he had a weapon, and then they knew this guy's a threat. That's why the phone went on video record. That's why there wasn't time to yell, run, call for help, anything like that. They were already under abduction at that time. Oh, yeah, I have. Well, when you go out on the platform, man, you got to look over the side, man, and go, damn, that's a long way down. You know, and it's really weird because if that was a building, there's no way I would step out on a part like that and look over the side, but on the bridge with like this much water, you know, flowing beneath you, you feel like you're safe. You're not. You know, if you hit that water, you would die just the same as you would if it was rocks, is probably my thought, because your legs are going to snap and you're going to hit just like you fell 70 feet out of the air into the ground. If not, it's going to mess you up real bad. You know what? You're right. You are right. You really are. I think in most cases, and I think that there is something that separates this guy from most serial killers. Most serial killers are after a type of woman, like Ted Bundy as a prime example. You know, he would go after a woman that fit a certain mental image that he had that he wanted to victimize inside of his mind. This is the kind of woman that I want to victimize. And most of them are like that. Now, in this case, while we can bring in a sexual motive, that there is a sexual element to his, you know, what it is that he does, I think that the whole thrill of that is not the type of female. It's the whole matter of it is a female who is helpless in front of me. And that's the difference. It's not just so much sex with this female and then killing her. It's I need this person to be helpless in front of me. And that goes both ages. I mean, that really does. Old, young. Okay. Now you can make somebody that's in between those ages helpless in front of you with a weapon. But I think that that is the biggest thing that he goes after is they are helpless in front of me. I can do what I want to them, and they cannot challenge that. They must do what I say. And that's what he's seeking. That is his mentality in these crimes. I want a female, any age, to be helpless in front of me that I can do and degrade as I wish. That's what I think he's after. Hey, Randy. Dude, I have been on that bridge when it was super windy, super rainy, super snowy, super cold, super hot. Let me see, anything else super mosquito-y? I have been at that bridge all year long. You know, I don't think that there's much of 2 months that's gone by in the last last couple of years that I have not been out there. As somebody didn't want to go out there, and I definitely enjoy going out there. It's beautiful, man. I mean, it is a beautiful place, and it is now marred by murder. It is, and that hurts. Oh yeah, yeah. It means total bullshit. Yes, I agree, and I have explained why that is different. With yeah, but again, it's the helpless. That's the whole of it. If and you got to think about this: who would want a female to be helpless in front of them? Who? And how? I mean, why would they not go so much after somebody that's in the middle of that road? And I'm not saying that this guy never has, because I think when the grand total of the murders comes out that he has committed and is being suspected of, I think it's going to run the gambit from at least minimally 9 years old all the way up to 83, if not older than that. And I think that there will be more than Ann Pates within that middle of the road, but it is very old and very young for the normal part. But it makes me wonder right there, what is it that he feels about? I mean, like 24 was Ann Pates. Now, how would he feel that this person would not be helpless? He could certainly make that person helpless, but why does he not go, or at least from my understanding of what I know, he doesn't normally go after that middle of the road, and I mean, like, okay, Jamie Schmidt she's my age. She would be 54 right now. So he went after somebody his own age, older than his age, younger than his age. It's very much the whole thing of having those people helpless. That is how I feel. Also, I feel that he may not be an alcoholic, but it is definitely, and I totally feel that before each and every one of these crimes that he's committed like this, that he was at least drunk. He was drinking. Mary Pryor, one bar town. She lived right across the street from the bar. Ann Pates, 2 p.m. when the bar closed in Montrose, on his way back to Flint. Both brutal, both neck wounds, both raped. DNA and fingerprints in both. But law enforcement could not point at a person. 2 crimes with DNA in both brutal rapes, both brutal murders. And you can't point to a person that had never been arrested in their past, not even for a PI, never been arrested. Now, again, that goes beyond bizarre. That goes beyond statistics. It just comes down to normally does not happen like that. When I brought that up to Kim Riley, that's why I said, well, given what we know to happen here, you would expect that this guy would have priors. Well, guess you got to start somewhere, which seems like an odd comment for him to say, got to start somewhere. I think that he knew better than that. I do. Because I think that state of Indiana and local law enforcement knew at that time that there was other crimes connected to that DNA. They knew of Mary Pryor. They knew of Ann Pates. They knew of the rest of all these. They knew everything that brought back to that DNA that they had, because that came through the FBI. But the FBI did not know the man who had done this, because this man had never been arrested and had no DNA or fingerprints on file. Ta-da! Motive. Where you been, Sandra? Man. Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. He's a very sadistic serial killer, completely. And again, this is another reason why in some of these cases we just need not know what happened. I mean, in Delphi, Evansdale, anything that's with a minor, and even at that, I'm not sure that these people would want the what happened to their family members, out there like that. The guy is very brutal, and that's what he wants. He wants to be that guy in charge, that guy that can do these things to you, that you can't stop him from doing that. And that's where he gets a sick thrill out of doing that. And then, oh, well, see, here's the thing. So, like when I heard his name and started looking into the criteria, I think my first words on that after like 5 minutes of looking was, yeah, not GK. Everybody wants to bring up GK. Why? Views, tabloid views. It's making something of nothing. It's making something of nothing because there's people out there that's going to want to go say, oh, let me see. I think it's him still. If not file shirt guy, it's got to be him. People are ignorant. Remember, man, the average IQ is 100. That means that half the people that you talk to are less than that. Never forget that. And the other 50% are above. Correct. Not all. Not all. I mean, look, it's like saying that all Muslims are terrorists. That's not true. All Muslims are not terrorists. But if you find a terrorist, Smart Money says he's going to be a Muslim. You see where I'm at? So it's not saying that all of these are tabloid. They're not. I mean, and there are some that, okay, say Delphi was not close, to where I live, that this wasn't a giant crime in a little small town by me, right? Right there. Well, I would probably, if I was looking into this case, I would go to Google and I would try to find out what law enforcement's put out regarding any press conferences, what's been given publicly. And I might go as far as to watch like True Crime Garage or something like that, where they're discussing the aspects of the case, where I know that what they're saying in all likelihood is at least true. Because one thing that law enforcement does not give you, and that is a theory, they don't hand out a theory. But if a person can make something of that and bring it back in a logical way to that, it might be something that I would look. But in this case, I feel that I know more than most people by a long shot. And I really don't take to going to another channel because I already know that if I'm going to somebody else's channel and they're talking about Delphi, they're not going to be covering the facts. And they might cover what they talk about very well. But I can see that, like, okay, this and this does not exist. And I mean, but these people haven't been there and they don't know the inside or the outs of this case. Yeah, exactly. And I have watched True Crime Garage on other on other cases, and I did watch that on Evansdale, but they had the same thing as I did with the time. It was very confused because two different places had differing times. One was, God, I'm just, bear with me. I'm going to say it was a hardware store. Now, they said, well, here's the girls driving by the hardware store, but it's about 8 minutes over the real time. We're not sure exactly how much, but it's like, I don't know, so many minutes, like, the clock is set before the real time that's, on the clock. And then they had the other guy who swerved around where their bikes were left at the lake, who said, well, I made a call at some time after that. So I think it was around like 12:20 when that happened. Well, they know that both of those can't be correct, that one or both could be off by so many minutes. So again, it's like trying to make a timestamp of that crime is very hard. Now, I do have some information that I got in recent from Evansdale. But it was somebody who lived there that kind of knew more about the crime than I, about the inside from being there. In the same way that I, being from around here, know Delphi very well. They, in the same respect, like knew the inside, of the what was going on in Evansdale in a pretty like manner, not totally, but in a better way than I knew from online. And that's why I can tell you that Gammerdinger was not the employer of the people that found him. He wasn't. And again, it's like, when you say something like that and go like, well, is that true at all? And they're like, no. No, man. No, it's not true. But this is what people online do. They come up with catchy little topics. Hey, my God, I'll get like 3,000 views, like whatever. All I got to do is make a catchy thumbnail, say the right thing, draw in a bunch of idiots, make some money on it. Tabloid. Is everybody like that? No. And in fact, like if I go Incognito, a great channel. And I don't think that she really covers anything tabloid. Truth and Justice is another one. I've never heard anything like Theory or Tabloid that was thrown out by them or anything like that. But when people say, well, did you see that video? I'm like, no, because I don't watch any video. And that's on Delphi. None. I don't care whose it is. I don't care. I do not watch it. I don't want it clouding my mind. Well, not everybody. Oh, and Randy. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Can I say that about Randy? It's been a long time since I watched Randy's channel. Randy, you still have a channel, don't you? If you're here, I have not watched his channel in quite a while. True Crime Jesus is investigating, though? All right. Okay. Well, Randy, yeah. No, I haven't. Because I don't watch anybody's channel. That's the point I make. And the reason for that is one. I have, in the past, went and watched somebody's channel at somebody else's advisement. They said, hey, you need to go watch his channel tonight because he's going to have somebody, and it's whenever I do that. And it's just like everybody made such a big deal about HL and, doing a podcast on it. Same thing with Walsh showing up. Same thing with, and I'm like, but they're not going to release anything that is unreleased. It's really not going to come out that way. If it's like that, they would have to go to police and say, well, is there anything that you can give us that's not been released? Just so we can release something, but it's never going to be anything that's going to, go, that's the information that I needed. And if it's somebody that doesn't live here talking about it, I will find wherever they goof up in every single case. I could go right through and say here, here, here. Okay, this wasn't the real time of this. This isn't one that, because you can go through when you know all of it and really just, But then again, I got to think it's like True Crime Garage. What do they do? Say I got a week to study up on a case with a friend of mine. Okay, man, we got to dive into this case and find out what it is that we can talk about for an hour or so and discuss all that. And that's what they do. And they try to keep it very factual. And, I like that. But again, when I watch that on Delphi, there's a lot of points I know better than. And it always relates back to me that how's come these people don't know what I know? How's come they've never made these connections? Did somebody say to them, oh, TJB? No, he's cleared. No, they would have come out with that a long time ago. Pardon me, one split second. That's a lie. They are not coming out with dick until they can go talk to him. Not a thing will they come out with. They hope you forgot his name right now. They do not want to answer your questions on this. And they'll go like, oh, well, yeah, he's a person of interest. I guess you're right, but, oh, he's down there and everything. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go talk to him, I'm sure. But, yeah, they'll just blow you off until you're like, well, it can't be him. Well, I'm going to go this far. I will lay 100%, 100%, 100% that the 6 victims that I have named all are accountable, and he is suspect in their death already. They already know who did it. They know, same as I know, same as I'm letting you know. It's all TJB. Whoa. No. No. No, I doubt that in Zoniac. I do. And here's why. He will no longer be under legal counsel, for the Catholic supply store once he gets a conviction. Now, he will be for any appeal or likewise, but that's when they can go down and talk to him because there's been a conviction. Now, until that time, just like with Daniel Nations, who committed 4 minor felonies, we had to wait almost, God, what was it? September, October, November, December, January. 5 months. Wow. He was out there on 4 felonies in 5 months, man. I had to do 6 months in prison, man, for marijuana. God, they really wanted him back here. They cut some deals to get that shit done. But anyway, they got him back here and then cleared him. When? Just actually, man, I think it was just a couple days before the first year press conference. Now, Indiana sent investigators out there. State of Indiana sent investigators out there to talk to Daniel Nations. Me and Greeno, we're right here, standing by, waiting for word on what they found out. We're already in written and verbal communication with Daniel Nations. They went out to talk to him. We're sitting here on that following Monday, waiting word. What happened that following Monday? The Las Vegas shooting. And we're both like, did not see that coming. Nobody did. But when we finally got the word, no, we can either include nor exclude. It's like, dude, what? When we're talking to him, he's like, yeah, my public defender stopped him at the door without consulting me, did not get to talk to him, and I wanted to and give him my DNA so I could be clear to that. Well, they brought him all the way back to Indiana, made a big show of it. So, yeah, we're no longer really worried about Daniel Nations, blah, blah, blah. But in looking back and knowing what I know now, I knew that they knew before they sent investigators out there that it was not Daniel Nations because they already knew that this guy had no DNA or fingerprints in any system to be matched to. So it couldn't be a regular known felon who's out there. I don't know. I'll try to put it nicely, just making a real dick of himself, in front of women and shit. They knew that, but they had to present the show. It makes it look like they're doing what they're supposed to. But, and I side with them on this. When they know that it isn't, they can't say, well, we know it ain't. How do you know it ain't? See, they'd have to give away their investigation. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. 95 people here. That's about 20 more than the last time. If you 20 people got a second on my invisible watch, please go down and click that thumbs up. Just click the thumbs up. It'd be outstanding. And you'll get my immediate thanks. Yes, 31. Hell yeah, man. All right. Trolls, do it, man. Go make new accounts, man. I want 50 thumbs down. I want 1 million thumbs down on this. A freaking million. Do it. Do it. Yeah. You know what? I tend to agree with you. I do. And I hope that I have not made too much of what he said at the first year press conference. Save it to say it does kind of just stand to my side, what he said. It does. And again, when he told us that, then it became, my God, who do we know that hasn't broken the law? You know? No, not to my knowledge. I think on County Road 300, I mean, unless they was looking out their back window and just happened to see him walking by there, where the wood line is, probably not many. I don't think he really walked County Road 300, aside of from his vehicle to where the main entrance is on the east side of Freedom Bridge. Where we walk right up that little trail, and then you can go right up there to the entrance. Hang on, I'm trying to read that. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Jason. It's one thing to say that, like that, if Thomas Bruce is found not guilty. Well, he will be found guilty on the Catholic supply store. He killed one lady right in front of two others. They're going to be right there and say, yeah, that's the asshole who did that. But if it's on Delphi, there is no asking me that. I mean, look, I put 100% for a reason. And it's not that I don't care what others think, but when I can beat that with common sense, why should I care? I mean, if they come out and they say, yeah, he did not do any of those, then I would be like, they're lying. They're lying. Exactly like Denise Flume, they're lying. They are lying because I know better. Now, as a community, well, it depends. What community? People that want the truth or a tabloid? There's a big margin between those two. People who are seeking truth and those who are trying to get views. I ain't trying to get views. If I was trying to get views, I wouldn't even go live, man. I'd be sitting over there just making videos. I'd just make videos all day to get views, Now, I like views. I always like views. I liked views on my old channel because views show popularity. But again, I must question anybody that would question me on it being TJB. I know that they are not using common sense. They cannot be. And the most of them, it ain't like all Muslims are terrorists. But again, it comes down to the fact of what are they saying? What are they speculating on? What kind of crap are they trying to sell you? I ain't in that community, and I do not support that community. That community can go. That's what they can do. They are my enemy. And I do not support, nor do I like them. There it is. Oh, hang on. Let me pause back up. There we go. All right. Now. Huh. You realize TJB was exceedingly drunk at that time, right? Yeah. He was very drunk. He was very nervous because he knew if that guy took him to jail, he was hit for everything. As soon as they fingerprinted him, it was all coming back in. He knew that. He didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to go to jail. He'd sit there, man, get mouthy, call him a MFer. I pay your taxes. And when the cop says, no, you stand over here. Okay. Hands in pockets, head down, walking straight toward it. Like Bridge Guy. Because both of them were in a tight situation. Bridge Guy knew what he was fixing to do. TJB knew what was going to happen if he was arrested. Tight situation. Why would he walk like that? Personal habit. Personal habit. I haven't, but I do have Alaska Blues telephone number. And uh, email address, and I should kind of look and see how she's doing. I miss Alaska Blue. She was a great mod. No, I don't. I don't for many reasons. Oh, wait, hold on. Hang on 1 second there. No, I don't. Why? Because nobody saw anybody with him. Nobody saw another person. There was one person seen by flannel shirt guy, lady walking her dogs that I'm aware of. They saw a man with a hat on. There wasn't anybody running around there without a hat on. You know, wasn't anybody like that. Wasn't anybody that looked like they were in their 20s running around there without a hat on. We've known since the beginning what the guy looked like, his body frame. I mean, we knew that much. We knew he had a hat on. I asked about the hat. Why'd they give him a hat? Well, they didn't know the style of hat, but he had a hat on, so they just tried to make it as close to. But they said it isn't really so much about the hat, but about the face, And okay, about 2 years later, what'd they say? Whoa, yeah, that's very secondary. Please look at this. This is the guy we really want. We think he's from around Delphi. Liars. They're lying to you. Actually, man, I mean, when you really look at it, he's from Montrose, Michigan. He ain't around from Evansdale or Delphi. Neither one. You know what? That is conceivable. Unlikely, but conceivable. Because I don't think that he was so much hiding. I mean, if you look at it, the cop is facing with his back toward the trail or the dash cam, and TJB, because he's kind of like facing toward him, and he's a little off to his right where you can see half of his body, but he's not standing right there. And when he told him to step over there, no, you stand over here, he walked away where the dash cam could clearly see him and then walked back in the same way. Now, I don't think that anybody was going to compare him, because I don't think even TJB felt that that camera was going to be like, where everybody could see it. I don't think it dealt with that at all. In fact, if he was worried about people seeing him, wouldn't he be just as afraid to go to a store? I mean, people would see him and go, holy shit, look like Bridge Guy. And I could see that. If I was walking down the street and he walked by me wearing the Bridge Guy clothes, I would have stopped. I would have stopped and said, hey, excuse me, what's your name? Because it would have struck me very honestly as, and you know what, I got people that can back me on this. Been in the store many a time and I've said, whoa, that looks like Bridge Guy. Almost everybody can look like Bridge Guy. There's a certain time of year here. You know what? I really look, I said at the beginning when I seen the guy, when I seen the person that I felt was the suspect. And I think that most people kind of came to the realization that Bridge Guy was suspect before law enforcement came out and said, we now consider him suspect. But when I seen an older guy who had went out of his way to go kill, two people that he didn't know, two young girls, I said, there will be DNA. There will be DNA at that crime scene, because nobody wakes up and says, I'm just going to go kill. That's it. I'm just going to go kill two people. It don't make any difference who those people are. I mean, this would have to be that person's mindset. I don't care who they are. I'm just going to go kill people. There's always an underlying motive. And I think that stands out in all of these crimes. If you look at any crime I've talked, that I've discussed, all of them had an underlying component. Yeah, well, I feel the same. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, she really was too, man. Yeah, that's the point I make, man. Hold on. Give me a second here, Mike. That? Um, where they got the fingerprints at the crime scene. Well, again, I mean, I can't speak on something I was not there, but I mean, I can certainly look at what was committed that we know of, a brutal murder. Now, you're probably not going to do all that to people, pick stuff up, move it, without leaving, without touching items. You have to grab, touch, things like this, in order to do that. Now, in the photo of him walking across the bridge, he's got his hands in his pockets. Now, a person would think, well, he put gloves on. Well, did he? I mean, I can give you two crimes that he committed in the past where he left DNA and fingerprints. Didn't think anything of it. He knew of them. He kept up on those crimes. He knew he didn't have a match in the system. He knew that if he went and did this, that if he left fingerprints, they wasn't going to find anything on him. He knew that. He knew. So was it on their clothes? Maybe. Was it on them? Was it on items that he picked up? It could have been any or all of the above. But I don't think that he went in there like with like gloves on and touching everything. I think that it was very different than that. I think that he was on go. He was ready to commit this crime, and when it occurred, he went with it. And I don't think that he was that leery of what he touched or anything like that. I think that even given the signatures, I think that he was very over the top about what he did. Whoa. Have a good night, Incognito. It could have been anything, and it really could have been. I don't know. I mean, I can speculate on signatures, but that would be like placing myself there. I don't know what he left. I don't know what he would have did. I would not even want to go and take a guess on that. But if it is, as I feel, that he had committed many, many, many crimes, I think that he may have left a calling card, to be so that those looking into these cases and making the realization of DNA and fingerprints is the same way as him saying, yeah, I did this. This was me again, and it's the same thing as calling law enforcement, antagonizing him, just like BTK. Um, many people of Zodiac, they reach these people. John D. Miller, another one. Many of them, like they reach law enforcement by letter, and tell them, hey, I'm this guy, and this is what I did, and this is how you'll know because I did this. They say, okay, well, this is that guy. Well, in the next case, maybe he'll do something similar and then write to him and go, haha, I did it again. So it could be something that he had left behind in prior cases that he had done, and to show that, yes, this is the same guy that did these. Now, they wouldn't release that to us because we wouldn't have any idea that those things exist as signatures, but they do. So when they say unique signatures, it could be that, because again, I don't know. I don't. But in knowing how these people kind of operate, it could have been something along those lines. Are you talking about Anne? If it was in, that was in Cleveland, Ohio. Of course, it was premeditated. That's why he went there that day. That's why he showed up at the trail that day, was to seek an opportunity which found him. You know, it was the reverse date. He knew that. He lost a job 1 month prior to. He was feeling very low in his life. He needed to, you know, he wanted to feel powerful. And that's when they go do this. That's hard for us to understand, but that's when people like this go do that. When they do not feel that power. Well, when they can go out and subject a person to that kind of, I don't even have a word for it, you know, something that brutal and that evil, that's what makes them feel powerful. And it's not in us to see how that would be the case, but to them, it's real. So yeah, I mean, I certainly believe that he wasn't on his way someplace and stopped there and just happened. No, he went there seeking this opportunity and it arose. Yeah, he is. He is asleep, man. Exactly. All right. Hey, you have a good night, TNJ. Yep. He was a promoter. And believe this or not, he worked for American Family Insurance, and they was based out of Madison, Wisconsin. But he got that job in May of 2017. So that was after the time that Evansdale was committed. In fact, I am looking into something that was given to me yesterday as a reason that TJB may have been in Evansdale. May have been in Evansdale that day for other reasons. Oh, how many murders do you think TJB is responsible? Or do you think TJB could be responsible for? Yeah, you know, I touched on that a bit earlier. Everything that dealt with the FBI going to St. Louis and getting the DNA of Thomas Jerome Bruce has been wiped out. It's no longer online. Now, I have some of it saved back. You know, that they did that, but they basically told the reporters take down all news, video on that, and written reports. And then I think, well, why would they want that done? Because I found that out when I went looking for a couple of those news videos, and they were all gone. If you put in FBI gathers Thomas Jerome Bruce's DNA, all of it's going to go straight back to Susan Collins and Barry Scheck. But they're not. It's no longer online that they went and got his DNA. Well, they went and got his DNA for the reason of they knew who he was at that time because his fingerprints matched. They knew who it was, and they wanted to connect him via DNA to all these crimes. So, yeah. Now, if I'm taking Barry Scheck's word, and that is all that I can take is Barry Scheck's word on this, I cannot find the means of looking into his military career and saying that he was at that base at that time. But if I'm taking one of the best attorneys in the nation's word on the fact that he was at that base at that time, then Smedley Alley is not even a person that I would discuss as being the probable person of interest. Be it given the brutality of the Susan Collins murder, it would fall directly back in my mind to TJB. Only he is that brutal. And that was a very, very brutal rape and murder. Hold on here. Including, okay, FBI was involved and were quoted as saying that only 14 similar cases, including Evansdale, I believe you were saying? Yes. And with Evansdale, that would be 15. And with Delphi, that would be 16 cases since 1974. Correct. I was talking about that earlier. Yep, could be. 88 thumbs up and a new record of 33 thumbs down. Look at that. 33 thumbs down. Man, you trolls, man, you guys go, man. Give me what I got coming to me. Let me have it. See what I care. Let me see. Yeah. And yeah, that was 2 girls that were abducted in broad daylight, and half of them were family or friends of the family that had did that. So when you do that and you have 16, you would say that since 1974, there's been 8 cases. 8 cases. And 2 of them, 1/4 of those 8 cases is Evansdale and Delphi. And neither one of those are known. The suspect. Something to consider. She's around somewhere. Let me see. She'll be around. Well, yeah, it's very true. It's very true. And I mean, I say that concerning Evansdale. You know, they don't have a person that's seen the suspect. They don't have a sketch. They don't know what he looks like. They point to the fact that he was possibly, and that's if the suspect was driving the car that was given as being there in or around that time, which in 2012 was given as an older, clunky, white Suburban, which you would assume to be like a 90s Jeep Cherokee, Chevy Suburban, something boxy and big like that. Now, that could be his car. It may not be. But as far as DNA, fingerprints, anybody seeing him, they don't have that. Now, they do have what I've given, the statistical oddity of that. And I believe that they can show that he was there. And I believe that when they roll all of these out and say, look, we can go after you with, you know, the price being that if you are found guilty on any of these, you will get death. Or, you know, you can confess to all of them, right? And we'll just send you right back there where you're already doing life without parole anyway, and you're never getting out, so don't even worry about it. I believe that he will come out. I believe that he'll confess to everything because in Delphi, they got him. DNA, fingerprints, people that seen him, audio, video. What more do you need? You know? I mean, all they got to do is say, yeah, you were there, dude. We already know you was there. Do you want to hear yourself there? Do you want to see yourself there? I mean, we got that. We got your DNA and fingerprints all over the scene. Any direction you want to go, you know, you're covered like a blanket. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Everything in the world is circumstantial, unless what? Somebody had a video camera up your ass? You know, you can say it's circumstantial. Well, everything's circumstantial. Everything. You know, everything is circumstantial, but I'll be damned if people don't go to prison for life for circumstantial. If people saw you there, you can go, well, yeah, I stopped there. Well, we got video of you. Yeah, well, okay, I approached the girls. Well, you got DNA. Well, they asked me to walk over there, and I was showing them stuff. I don't know. After I left, maybe somebody came by and did that. You know, there comes a time when it's not circumstantial. They got you, and that's Delphi. Believe me, they got him by the sack. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It is. Oh, hey, thanks for being here, Donnie. I appreciate it. In Evansdale, I think it was about 6 months, and they were skeletal. And I mean, again, that takes away from totally depending. I mean, understand if, you know, I shot somebody and bam, 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 and killed them. I mean, even when they're skeletal, you could see that they were shot, you know. I mean, you know, you would be able to tell that. But if is the case, okay, say I got my K-bar here, you know, and I get into it with some dude and I hold him down, slice him across his neck. you know, and he's dying. Well, I clean everything up and I throw his body in some ditch somewhere, and somebody comes across it 6 months later. Well, now it's skeletal. You know, anything that was like right in here is probably long gone, ate away, deteriorated. There may not really be a cause of death to show, you know, because these bodies are deteriorated down to skeletal. But then again, I mean, that takes away fingerprints, DNA for the most part. They're missing quite a lot in Evansdale as far as all that goes. But they know that when they find this guy, because they can trace this back and make the connection. Now, I believe that the FBI's done that. And in fact, when I got a hold of Evansdale, I believe that they were already told, because Officer Weber just downplayed everything I was saying to a degree that I was just like this far from being like, dude, are you trying to solve this case? Then maybe you want to shut the F up and listen for a minute. I realize the FBI's already talked to you and you know what I'm saying, and you feel a little upset that some little slave's telling you what you already know, you big, famous, respectful POS. But maybe you just might want to listen for a minute, pal. I do not like law enforcement. I will not be spoke down to them by them. Up their backside, man. They are public servants. They know their place. And it ain't being a belligerent badge. Hey, man, Krista Foreman. Man, how are you doing, man? God. So like 22 the last time I seen you. Wow. Yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah, no, I am in disagreement with that. I am. I think that it was more, and I'm using BTK. They was asking if the one person, if he was giving it up after he had killed them, and he said no. There was at least one more that I was going to commit. He goes, I was out trolling the area in my vehicle. He goes, and I guess it's like what they say about serial killers, like casing and looking for that next person. You know, he goes, that's what I was doing. And I seen this girl and I knew who she was. And that was going to be my next one. And that probably would have been my last. Well, I feel that him being a serial killer, because he didn't go out and, to my knowledge, go out and kill somebody that he knew and had looked at and said, okay, I'm going to go find them alone and kill them. Okay, what he did was, if opportunity presented itself, a person whose cars broke down on the side of the highway, I can pull over and say, hey, if you're heading into Montrose, I can give you a lift, man. I just came from there. They get in, opportunity. Now, I think that in the same way of trolling for these things, he went to small trails in small towns, places that were, you know, hiked, but not heavily hiked. So if somebody went by, hey, you're just a hiker. You're just sitting there taking in the view. They have no idea what you're going to do, you know, because they can keep an eye back behind you, man. If nobody's coming, they can catch up with you, abduct you, and take you elsewhere. And I think that that's what he did. That was his trolling, was stopping at these small trails and saying, okay, I can go here. You know, if I wait long enough, somebody's going to walk by that I will want to victimize. I can take them, abduct them, kill them, and then get back to my car and leave before it's found out. And I think that that was his way of serial killer trolling, was looking for areas. Myers Lake, Delphi, that's two, you know, right there. The other one, I mean, there was the lady when he walked out of the bar. The next one was broke down on the highway when he walked out of the bar. I mean, all of them were examples of opportunity. And he was in the right mental shape at the right time where he wanted to commit these crimes. And I think that that's how that went. I don't think that it was a matter of him knowing the girls. I don't think that he knew any of these people. Now, he may have known Mary, or knew of Mary Pryor, because she lived in Lennon. And Lennon is approximately the same size as Burlington, Indiana. Spot in the road. Bink, little bitty spot, like 400 people that live in Lennon. Well, everybody in Lennon knew Mary Pryor. She lived in that town. She was 83. Everybody knew her. Everybody. You know, everybody knew Mary Pryor. So I think when he walked out of the bar and there she was, and oh, hey, can I help you? You know, with that, or, you know, whatever it may be, walked over to her house, abducted her, took her out back, did these things to her and left. You know, that would be one where he may have knew of that person, but that would be it. Wait, what? You lost your puppy? Tell me that ain't true. Yeah, well, yeah, if it was drug related, you're right. I mean, you know, those people will tell each other in a minute, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I say too. I mean, you know, and it's very unfortunate to the fact that they showed up that day. They showed up when a monster was there, and that's just how it was. Well, we didn't really actually get too much onto Evansdale, but I am making a video in the comparison, but that's going to be after the timestamp video, which is the next one. I got most of that done on the timestamp, and see, what was I going after that? There's timestamp criteria. I was going to do the other Evansdale, Mary Pryor, and Ann Pates, and then draw all that into the suspect, but then show where the suspect was, where he was in his life, how life had handed him shit. Then he goes out and commits these crimes in each time that life is like, you know, hit him with less power. He went out and committed a crime to get more power, you know, to feel more powerful. Yes. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Mike. Yeah, I got it, man. Ah, see, that's just it, William. There was not a camera at the abandoned CPS building. It was abandoned. It was closed. It was boarded up. So there was no camera at the CPS building. If there was, they would have his license plate. They'd know exactly who did it right after. Believe me. They did not get anything from that building. Now, they could have from Anderson's, but it would have been a side view of his car, not a backside or a front view. That they may have gotten. Yeah, it is. Because in Super Chat, if you drop a donation down here in Super Chat, YouTube's taking 30% of that, and I still won't get the remaining 70% for probably about 2 months. But I mean, if you have anything like that, you can drop it into. Hang on, let me go get the link. Right down there. You can send a channel donation to that link that I just provided in chat, or you can reach me at my email address, which is down here. Let me see. Certainly I got it on here. Oh, there it is. You can reach me at that email address as well. And if you got a credit card, and I can send you a invoice, and then you can pay it through that way into PayPal. Because in PayPal, then they don't take a percentage. Why don't they like that form of payment? Because they don't get a cut. That's why. They go, hey, wait a minute. We're taking all your money, and you're not giving us a cut of the money you're getting. Something's wrong with that. And we don't like it. We only like it when we can take your money. Sir. Well, I just don't like my money being taken. Feels like, oh no, theft. Feels like naked thievery. Now, Rob Ryder. I don't know how many people watch Rob Ryder, but if you do not watch Rob Ryder, you should be watching Rob Ryder. It's spelled like such. I'll post it down here in the comments. It's R-O. Rob Ryder. Look, that name right there. It's spelled, what the hell? It just disappeared. Oh, yeah, there it is. But Rob Ryder, man, I mean, like when he gets on there, man, he's like, man, if you'd like to leave a donation to my channel, you can do so right here. Or, you can go here and I'll invoice you. Or, you can mail it to me. Right here's my email address, or my house address. You can send it any way you want. I'll take Federal Reserve notes. I don't care. I don't think anybody banned Larry McClare, but I wasn't looking. Yeah, I know. And I agree because the super chat is really cool. And that is what I use if I'm at somebody's channel. But normally if I'm at somebody's channel like that, they got like 50 to 100,000 subscribers. So they get like quite a bit on the super chat. But God, I don't know. I got like 3,000 and some. So normally I just ask that people send it to PayPal. It just makes it more convenient is all. That's all. Anywho, do I have any questions? And today has been a day of questions. Let me be clear. You guys have certainly asked quite a bit in the way of questions. And Kim does rock. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for rocking. You know what? I doubt that. And I doubt that for this reason. If they was held captive, then law enforcement would have had to have heard from the abductor, in order to believe that. However, whenever people are abducted, especially like small, kids, they always do this in a like similar way. They say, well, at this time, we think that what we're dealing with, that this person has not killed these people, and we think that they're being held alive. Then they will have a family member to get on there and say, listen, you took our children, or you took our child, please don't kill them. They got a life and, we love them. Don't be that person that took and killed them. Be that one person who took a child, and you'll always be remembered as the person that gave that child back. You'll be a hero. You kind of give them a way out. You see where I'm at? When you do that. But if a person had reached law enforcement saying that I got the girls and I'm keeping them captive, then they would be dealing with a different item completely, because they would have had that telephone call where it came from, and they would have been following those as leads. I think that when those girls came up missing, that was the last anybody had seen them. I mean, that was that. And I think that they were probably dead within like a couple hours after the time that they were abducted. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll bring Puppy out, but let's wait till the very end. I like to bring him out at the very end because as soon as I finish up, man, I got to take him out anyway. He is certainly a puppy about going out. I give him that. Now, here's the crazy thing, man. When I take Puppy out, he will grab the other side of the leash, man, and start taking off, man, like he's pulling me on the way back. Like on the way there, I literally got to drag him. Like I'll walk out to the highway at about 11 o'clock at night, man. That's like an hour or a mile out to the highway, a mile back. And I mean, isn't that I drag him a mile? But believe me, he is in no rush to get out there to the highway. On the way back, he'll grab that leash and run. Then I got to be like, Puppy, heel, Puppy, if you don't mind healing, please. Yeah. Well, you know what? Puppies are smart, and I give them that. I love puppies. You know what? I'm glad that when I was born, I was made of puppy dog tails. Ain't nothing finer I'd like to be than a puppy dog tail. Yeah. And he is too, man. Beautiful puppy. It's a weird thing about me. Whatever dog I get, it just always seems to be the best dog. I don't know why. Best puppy ever probably belongs to me. Oh, no. I will not be thankful. I say, look, man, this guy, man, he's got a 200-pound mastiff, and that dog sits, just like puts his butt, like while he's standing on the couch, and will sit there with his butt on the couch. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Big dog, man, huge dog. Like, my God, I told him, I said, I couldn't imagine that dog like getting in bed. You know, I mean, like, he's like, oh, yeah, I can, because there ain't much room for me. Gets up there every night. I'm like, wow, you know, like, my God. But then, I don't know, man. I love all dogs, big dogs, little dogs, every dog. I love dogs. Dogs are my best friend. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. And I could side with that, but here's the thing. If you go to a trail, and I'm just saying, and I'm not saying anybody would do this, but if you go to a trail and abduct somebody, and of course, in your mind, you're going to murder these people. Well, you're not going to sit around listening to the radio while you have these people in your vehicle listening to the case. You're going to take them, commit the crime, leave them somewhere, and get out of there because you know you wasn't seen. You know, that's. You know what? You manimal, that is an outstanding idea. That really is. That is one of the better ideas that I've ever had just handed to me. Thank you very kindly for that, man. People, that is some Australian ingenuity at work there. You see that? Ah, Australia laying some common sense on shit, people. Making it happen. All right. Well, everybody, I guess that will be my show for this evening. I do have the other videos that I am working on, and I believe that it will be Thursday or Friday. Me and my upcoming special guest are going to get together. We are going to cover some stuff very in depth and make some comparative notes, and hopefully broaden the whole of these cases that are on this man. So with that, I think every mod that I have, and I do, while I know the people that I've made mod, I don't know the full of everybody I made mod. So, you know, I can't give everybody's name, but Michael Green, Incognito, TNJ, Radar, you know, I'm just looking up the thing, you know, there's a lot of people here, man. I appreciate everybody viewing, man. And I appreciate every one of you guys being here. And I will probably, in all likelihood, see you back here next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Peace, everyone. Have a great week.